Today we are going to get to the predictions. I just wanted to touch real quick on this drama between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia popping positive for PEDs. Now it seems that it's two PEDs, one of which is not found in the supplement. And I think the people that make the supplement are also saying that that isn't found in their supplement either. So either way, it seems like Ryan could be lying here. But I will say this though: on both sides, there's a lot of suspicion because if you think about it, there was just a lot of things that happened in that fight that start adding up to where it seems like Ryan could be getting set up, and everything from the ref, like the ref acting weird, you know, taking a point away from Ryan Garcia, all of that, and then you start adding, the judges, one of the judges, calling it a draw, um, and you start adding all of those things, together. The fact that Victor Conti is close with Devin and Devin Haney, his father, all of those things together, are kind of suspicious to me. But at the same time, I'm not over here, taking up for Ryan either because a lot of the stuff that he says has been a lie. Even when he said that, it was all an act. Even then, you start thinking like, was it? Because he's still acting crazy. So, um, the other thing I was gonna think that's suspicious on the Devin Haney side is his brother said that God told him that he was gonna pop positive, that Ryan Garcia was gonna pop positive for PEDs, and that to me just seems like he had an inside scoop on what's gonna happen, or somebody told them, what the situation was. There's a lot of things that are suspicious on Devin Haney's side. Like, for example, his dad not saying anything and staying quiet for a really long time. Um, in my opinion, when people that usually talk a lot stay quiet in a situation where, you know, like this, that you would think that he would at least say something, and he doesn't say anything, is also suspicious to me. So, I mean, at this point, I'm still in the middle. I still don't know. I don't trust anybody. I don't have to trust anybody because I'm just here looking at the show. I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying, what's going on here. Um, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. Um, I think, I really don't know if this is good or bad for boxing. I guess it depends. If there's a rematch, then it's good for boxing because it's gonna bring a lot of people in. If there is no rematch, then it's bad for boxing because all that's gonna happen is that the whole thing is gonna be brought down, which I think might be good for boxing in the future, but not necessarily in the near future. But like I said before, guys, like this has been going on in boxing since forever. Okay, there, in my opinion, my personal opinion, from what I've heard, there's no such thing as, you know, a boxer that's clean. In my opinion, 95% of boxers are on something, some kind of PED. It doesn't have to be steroids. It could be something that, helps you neurologically or something like that that's illegal. Um, and people can buy, you know, Vada and Wada and all of these things. People can buy those things. Um, but anyways, I don't want to repeat myself. I did make another video on this already. I just wanted to touch up on that and talk about some new developments that have happened recently. And the things that I'm telling you, like I said add suspicion to both parties, in my opinion. Um, but it is what it is, guys. Let's move on to the topic of today, guys. The other thing I wanted to say really quick about Ryan versus Devin. People are saying that that's why Devin was fast and strong. I mean, Ryan. That's why Ryan was fast and strong. Ryan's always been this fast, and he's always been this strong. It's not, um, something that happened for this fight. He's been like that since like the beginning of his career. That's the reason, he was famous, because he was so fast, that you couldn't see his punches in those videos. So that thing is one of the things where people be like, oh, we should have known he was faster or whatever. Nah, man. I mean, he's been fast. That was his his whole thing was him being fast and strong, um, and not having any skills. It is what it is. But um, to say that this is like a recent development, or that this only happened because of the steroids, is dumb. And I think if the rematch happens, with or without the steroids, I feel like Ryan Garcia is gonna win, dude. Um, and I don't think they're gonna want that rematch, because I think if you pay attention to Devin Haney and Bill Haney, they're not asking for the rematch. Okay, and I think that's even more suspicious to me, um, because I think they know now. I think they know what's up, and the thing about Devin Haney is that there's not a happy ending for him either in this. And Ryan, there could be a happy ending for him because of the backing that he's getting from people, but at the same time, there's always going to be that stain in his career, that people that are going to hate on him are going to try to put on, which they always do to certain fighters. I'm not going to talk about that right now because people are going to get mad, but certain fighters, they try to put excuses on their careers. Usually they're the great ones, and the reason they do that is because they want to hold that on their head every time they accomplish something new. Um, and dude, I'm telling you, people can be set up in boxing, and they have been set up in boxing. Canelo is one of them. I know a lot of you don't want to believe that, but Canelo was set up. It's very easy to do, dude. It's very easy to do, because, like I said, nobody's perfect. Everybody eats stuff that they're not supposed to. Everything that we have around our refrigerators and in our supplements have things in them that they're not supposed to be in there. Some people could pop positive by eating sesame seeds or mouthwash or all of these things. So just think about that. And just know that these scientists, they know this too, because they study this, they dedicate their lives to this. And they could see it, and they know what they see. And they could say, oh, this was because of mouthwash, or this was because a supplement. They know that. But if somebody pays them and tells them, hey, I need you to find something, because a lot of people lost a lot of money, they'll find something. They'll find something. Because like I said, everything we eat these nowadays has something in it, bro. I was looking at this water bottle. I was drinking some water, and some of the water we have has salt in it. It didn't used to be that way. But anyways, let's move on to Canelo versus Munguia. Now, we have to give respect to Canelo, right, for his trajectory and his career and what he has accomplished so far. And because of that, he is the favorite. And I believe, I haven't checked the odds, but I'm pretty sure he's the favorite. But recently we have seen a lot of upsets. Like I said, we just talked about Devin versus Ryan. That was an upset, right? And I believe before that we had who I think Wilder, but that was kind of an upset. But Wilder is one of these wild cards. Wilder is a wild card. And so like I said, we've had a couple of these lately. I can't really think of that many, but what I want to say is, in order to beat Canelo, you know, you need to have a couple of things. Okay, you need to have at least some kind of pop, some kind of power. I think munguia has that. Okay, he's not weak. You have to have good footwork. Okay, you have to have good, well, not necessarily good footwork, or you have to have quick feet. Okay, and you have to have good footwork as well. You have to have the knowledge to know how to move in and out safely. And number three, you have to have a good jab. And I'm not talking about just one type of jab. Oh, he has a corkscrew jab, or no. You have to have a good, educated lead hand to beat Canelo. Meaning, your lead hand has to be educated in the sense that you could throw a good left hook, a good check hook. You could throw a flick jab, a stiff jab. You could guide your opponent with your jab. Exit with the jab, go in with the jab, and know when not to use the jab. Because sometimes people counter the jab very well. So you need to learn how to measure distance without the jab. So those are the three or four things that you need to beat Canelo. Okay. Now, does Munguia have any of these? Now, we have to talk about Freddie Roach and how he is a factor in this. And is he teaching Munguia how to use his lead hand and how to distance manage with his lead hand or without his lead hand? Is he going to do something about his footwork, which is, in my opinion, not very good? Now, in the past, we do know that Freddie Roach has trained people that don't have a good lead hand and gotten them to elite level performances by giving them a better lead hand. Like, for example, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao did not have a very good lead hand in the beginning of his career. In fact, he was very much a one-handed fighter, and he was still beating up a lot of top tier boxers. But of course, when Freddie Roach got a hand on Pacquiao, he did develop his jab and his lead hand. And Manny Pacquiao developed a good check hook, developed a good hook to the body. He developed, he became more of a two-handed fighter. Now, if he's smart, he knows that Munguia is going to need that in this fight. Now, the footwork part is going to be kind of difficult. It's going to be reliant more on strategy and on Freddie Roach drilling that into Munguia. No diddy. But once he gets, if he gets that, and if he can manage to execute that game plan against Canelo, he could be successful. Now, the thing is, the game plan against Canelo can't be you trying to knock him out. So you gotta get that out of your head. You're not gonna knock out Canelo. In fact, if you go for the knockdown against Canelo, you have a possibility of losing the fight. To beat Canelo, you have to time his spurts. You have to do your own spurts when he doesn't want you to do them, and then exit, and then restart again, and then do it again, and that'll cause him to not know when to do his counters and when to do his bursts of energy on you. Why? Because you're doing your own bursts of energy yourself. Now, you have to do combinations against him. Just throw punches, and look for his reactions and then start adding from there. Um, you have to be active. You can't, um, let him counter you either. But that's why you shouldn't be. That's why you need quick feet, because you got to go in and get out, go in and get out, go in and get out, constantly. I think the mistakes of the people in the past have been, number one, moving too much and not throwing enough punches. That's number one. Number two, believing that just one type of jab is enough to keep Canelo back. That's why I say lead hand and not a jab, because the lead hand has to be active, but it's not the only thing you're going to use. You're going to throw twos every once in a while. You're going to throw hard jabs to the body every once in a while, hard jabs to the face every once in a while. You're going to throw hooks. You got to mix it up, because if you keep throwing your jab thinking that you're going to stop Canelo, you're going to get countered and you're going to get dropped. Also, you can't keep pushing him back all the time. You got to, like I said, that's why it's hard to beat Canelo, because all of these things that I'm telling you, it's a lot of things that you got to be doing in a fight in order to beat him. And with Canelo, the only thing he has to do is be himself, really, to beat munguie, because munguie is really tailor-made for Canelo. Okay, he throws a lot of shots. He doesn't move his head too good. His footwork, he doesn't have quick feet. He leans forward too much. But we'll see if Freddie Roach took care of all of those things. If he did, and if he has a good game plan like the one I just mentioned, then he could win the fight. The other thing is, if you don't have good stamina, man, which I don't think is going to be the case, you're going to lose the fight. Why? Because Canelo's going to get you in the later rounds. He's going to be working on you for, the first couple of rounds to the body, and then in the later rounds, you're just going to get destroyed. That part I do think Munguia has a good chance of not falling for, because I feel like Munguia has a good tank. But we'll see. So, in my opinion, I think Canelo should be the favorite, just out of respect and because we know what he's done. And Munguia is really the guy that's going to be proving himself and to see if he has anything for Canelo. But we'll see. He does have length over him as well. So it is something that Canelo has struggled with, long arms. But at the same time, we've seen him beat those guys too. Now, a little bit about Canelo. Canelo in the past was a little bit more of a boxer puncher, and he was able to do more things in there, to box, to move around, and he was a lot more well-rounded. Now, as the times progressed, he's gotten older, and he's not been able to look the same way, in my opinion. We do know that he has some surgeries in his knees. I don't know if it's both or just one. The point is, I feel like that's the reason why he's been changing the style to more of a pressure fighter, counter puncher. And it's because of that, in my opinion. I think he's just not the same anymore. We've seen the same thing happen to other boxers, like, for example, Floyd Mayweather, to where at the beginning of his career, he was more of a boxer puncher, and then towards the end, he became more of a pure boxer. And, it just goes to show that skills and style is dependent on your physical attributes or lack thereof. And in the beginning of your career, usually you have certain attributes that towards the end of your career, you're not going to have anymore. And I think Canelo has adapted a style that is suitable to his older body. Now, is this something that is worrisome? It is worrisome, and it is something that could play a part in the fight, but we just don't know. And we can't quantify that. We can't say that could happen, because we're not you can't quantify what could happen. You could quantify only what has happened and what what usually happens with Canelo. And what usually happens is that he knocks him out in the later rounds. And that's what I think is the biggest possibility of happening here in this fight is Canelo knocks him out in the later rounds, or he wins by decision. Um, it could be, or it could be like a really close fight or something like that. But we'll see. These are two Mexican fighters, and we know that when stuff like this happens, when a young fighter faces an older fighter, the young fighter usually going to come out, to try to prove himself in front of the world, and we'll just have to see what happens. But that's my prediction, guys. I think Canelo wins. Yeah, I think he gets him with a body shot, like in the 10th, maybe in the 10th round or something like that. And maybe munguie gets up and then continues the fight, and then the fight is won by Canelo by decision or something like that. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And like I said, we just have to give it to Canelo for now. And hopefully we'll get a better fight later, like maybe against Benavides, or maybe against the winner of Bivol versus Better Beef, or Beterbiev, actually. That's how you pronounce it. But we'll have to see, guys. I'm not gonna be watching this fight. I'll just have to watch the highlights because I got some other stuff to do. But yeah, you guys let me know. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for today. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.